number 10, Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt. Before Brangelina took over Hollywood, Bennifer was a thing. Actually, I don't know if they had a ship name, but if not, I just made one. You're welcome. Jennifer and Brad's romance story started in the 90s, meeting for the first time in 94, but going on their first date in 98. After 2 years of dating, the wedding of the year took place in 2000 on a bluff in Malibu because nothing says romance and everlasting love like standing on a cliff. Things were okay until Angelina came into the picture after she and Brad met while working on Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Fast forward to 2005 and Bennifer was no more. They filed for divorce, making room for Brangelina. It was a whirlwind breakup because of the cheating scandals, as Angie became the other woman of sorts, and even as things died down over the years, tabloids would bring this drama up from time to time, almost making it seem as though things aren't exactly over for this unfortunate love triangle. It seems as though Brad and Jen have reunited in 2020 as they are both now single, but I don't know if you can really call it a comeback from that heavily publicized breakup. At number 9, Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson. 2013 was a rough time for Twilight fans. Not only were they still heartbroken and mourning the death of their beloved vampiric saga, but they were also mourning the death of their OTPs, Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson. Since the beginning of the Twilight franchise, fans were obsessed with Kristen and Rob's relationship, wishing that they would take their on-screen love into the real world. For years, the actors had shut down rumors that they were dating until 2011 when they finally confirmed that they were together. Fans were ecstatic and soon came speculations that a proposal was soon to come, but unfortunately that moment never came. In 2013, while working on the film Snow White and the Huntsman, Kristen was caught cheating on Rob with the film's director, Rupert Sanders. Paparazzi had speculated that something was going on between them for a while, and so they finally got confirmations of this affair when the two were caught getting cozy together. When news of this scandal broke, it got crazy, and soon we saw statements from Rupert's wife, as well as news that Robert and Kristen had broken up officially. This ended with Kristen being labeled a homewrecker, and a lot of people still hate her for it. Rob's heartbreak was heavily publicized, and most people took his side, but really, I think their whole relationship was just a publicity stunt, and they needed a wild way to end it. But what do you guys think? Now, before I continue on with the video, please consider leaving a like on this video and check out my gaming channel, Viper Girl, if you are looking for some more fun content as well. At number 8, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. By now, everyone and their mothers know about Johnny and Amber. Their relationship was highly publicized last year following their trial, but their initial breakup was also a messy ordeal, even though it happened nearly 5 years ago. Johnny and Amber first filed for divorce in 2016, but was finally finalized in 2017. Their divorce proceedings were quite the scandal, as Amber made the accusation that Johnny had been abusive towards her, though now we all know that that was a big ol' ball of BS. In their divorce settlement, Amber was awarded $7 million to be paid by Johnny, and Amber claimed that she would be donating the money to 2 charities, which also turned out to be a lie. And they went their separate ways as Johnny kept their properties and cars. The biggest story to come out of this breakup was the bombshell of Johnny's treatment of his wife. Johnny lost a lot of work because of her claims, and his name was pretty much ruined because of it. Fast forward to 2020, and the drama continues, making this one of the messiest breakups ever. At number 7, Taylor Swift and Calvin Harris. Now, obviously, we couldn't make a list talking about the messiest breakups without including Taylor Swift. I mean, she's built her entire career on breakup songs, and you obviously can't have the breakup song without the breakup. Arguably, one of Taylor's messiest breakups was with DJ Calvin Harris, and though it didn't end up with a lot of upfront hostility, there was a lot of shade, a lot of jealousy, and a lot of drama. After a brief relationship, Taylor and Calvin broke up in 2016, and when news broke of their split, it was speculated that they broke up because their spark had fizzled out and that things just weren't working out for them. No hostility and no drama, they just fell out of love. Things were fine until Taylor went public with her new relationship with Marvel actor Tom Hiddleston a little over 2 weeks after breaking up with Calvin. This started to stir drama because some fans, as well as some news sources, believed that Taylor was only dating Tom to make Calvin jealous. Tom and Taylor was seen traveling together and meeting Taylor's parents. Meanwhile, Calvin was being bombarded by paparazzi asking about his take on this new relationship. Things escalated into the music world as reports came out involving Rihanna into Taylor and Calvin's relationship troubles, and Calvin even alleged that Taylor was still texting him weeks after they were over. This breakup was unnecessarily messy, but it made for some good music content for Taylor. At number 6, Zayn Malik and Perry Edwards. Another complicated relationship here, this time with former One Direction member Zayn Malik and Little Mix member Perry Edwards. After meeting in 2011, dating in 2012, and getting engaged in 2013, Zayn and Perry's perfect world came crumbling down in 2014 2015 after a dramatic and messy public breakup. When news broke of their split, fans just had to know why. These two were loved by so many fans, and for them to suddenly call it quits, people wanted to know what was going on. It was alleged that Zayn broke up with Perry over text, but I don't know if that was really true or not. About a week after initial reports of their split, fans learned that the couple's home was put on the market, and that apparently Zayn had asked Perry to move out of their house shortly after their breakup. Perry was having a hard time with the sudden split, even breaking down in tears on stage at one of her girl group's concerts. Meanwhile, news outlets were reporting on Zayn's parties at his Bel Air mansion. The media as well as fans were divided in choosing sides. Perry was being shown as the blindsided and broken one, while Zayn was being seen as aloof and cold. Not too long after the breakup, Zayn was seen hanging around model Gigi Hadid, and it was thought that Zayn had left Perry for Gigi. Eventually, things sort of died down between Perry and Zayn, with the two subtly shading each other every once in a while.
Number 5. Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes. Back in 2012, former power couple Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes announced to the world they were getting divorced after 6 years of marriage. Now, this split was shocking to everyone throughout the world of show business, and it sparked many rumors and speculations as to why the couple split. One of the biggest rumors of the pair's divorce was that Katie wanted to remove herself and their daughter Suri from any involvement with the Church of Scientology. Cruise then later confirms that the reason his ex-wife filed for divorce came down to the controversial religion itself. With Cruise and Holmes divorced, Holmes was awarded sole custody of Suri, and reportedly that included an ironclad ruling that Suri would not be exposed to anything Scientology related. Number 4. Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Married for only 15 months, the world was shocked when Amber Heard filed for divorce from Johnny Depp in May of 2016. But what shocked the world even more was the claims that led to the divorce. Depp's and Heard's marriage has been swept across the tabloids since 2016, and one of the most recent trials to highlight the whole relationship would be Johnny Depp's defamation trial. While both stars played a huge part in why their relationship didn't work out, following events later to come to light would leave the world shaken with disbelief. Just after Heard filed for divorce, she placed a temporary restraining order on Depp, claiming that the two had gotten into an altercation. When the order expired, the couple was finally able to reach an agreement in August of 2016. Heard announced she would donate her $7 million divorce settlement to charities. Their divorce was then finalized in January of 2017. The two have since been in heated court cases that don't seem to be ending anytime soon. Number 3. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. After being married for nearly 7 years, Kim Kardashian officially filed divorce from her husband on February 19, 2021. On June 3, 2021, in an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Kim opened up about the split from rapper Kanye West. After confronting the situation with her family, her sister Khloe then went on to note that Kim had been struggling privately behind the camera with her relationship. In now seen footage, you could see Kim crying as she says she can't do this anymore and that she has felt like she's been stuck in the relationship for years and can't understand why. The star then goes on to note that Kanye deserves someone that can go support his every move and go follow him all over the place and move to Wyoming. I can't do that and I feel like a failure in my third marriage. It was sad to see Kim felt her relationship was moving in different directions and that she couldn't really do anything. Since the pair's split, Kanye and her have hit headlines as they continue to disagree over certain aspects revolving around their lives. Number 2. Kris and Caitlyn Jenner. After being married for more than 2 decades, the momager Kris Jenner and 1976 Olympic gold medalist Caitlyn Jenner announced in late 2013 that they have been living apart for a year and they were officially filing for a divorce. At the time, many fans were quick to note that it looked like the pair split ultimately due to the fact that Caitlyn began opening up about her identity and transitioned to Caitlyn Jenner. However, Caitlyn squashed the rumors when she came to say, after 23 years, Kris and I went our separate directions. My identity, it was not a big part of us separating. There were so many other bigger issues out there. She claimed that her transition caused her to be more short-wired with Kris, and that it was that reason that caused their marriage to fail. Since the two's divorce, Kris has been really supportive to Caitlyn, and the pair support each other unconditionally. Number 1. Russell Brand and Katy Perry. Love at first sight. Back in September of 2009, it said that Russell Brand and Katy Perry hit it off while rehearsing for the MTV Video Music Awards. They soon started dating, and Russell popped the question on New Year's Eve during a trip to India. In October of 2010, the couple had a traditional Hindu wedding, also in India. Then the couple came to the quick realization they had different priorities in life. Documented in Katy Perry's documentary, Part of Me, the star was on her California Dreams tour, which caused the two to clash. While on tour, Katy received a text message where Russell told the pop star that he was filing for divorce. As Katy's world world began to crumble beneath her feet, she was able to hold it together for her fans and complete the tour. Since the divorce, both have moved on, with Brand marrying Laura Gallagher and Perry marrying Orlando Bloom.
At number 10, we have former acting couple Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher. The questionable age gap at the time of their relationship was already convincing enough for many to believe that their marriage would not make it to the end of time. The two met back when Demi was 25 and Ashton was 41, but the older star had 3 children closer in age to him than Demi was. With this fact in mind, there were also rumors of infidelity on his part and opening up their relationship to others that certainly did not help keep their marriage afloat. It's been reported by various sources that the most surprising outcome of the marriage ending is just how long it took for them to call it quits. Yikes. At number 9, we have another acting twosome who announced they were splitting yet again, at no real surprise for fans. Apparently, the ex-spouses were having an insane amount of marital issues for years before their separation. Alongside rumors of infidelity in their relationship, there were also apparently the tripling up of Ben's gambling and drinking problems. It probably didn't save their situation once Ben announced in his 2013 Oscar speech how he and Jennifer were working on their marriage at that point. Surely you may not all be that shocked to know, with all that information, that the two revealed the end of their marriage in 2015. At number 8, we have actress Gwyneth Paltrow and English singer-songwriter Chris Martin, who didn't make the public announcement that they decided to separate until 2014, following 10 whole years of marriage. There were very obvious signs between them that indicated they might not have been seeing a long future together, and it seems fans were undoubtedly right on the money. Not one of them was caught off guard due to the fact that they would not pose together on red carpets nor discuss one another in interviews they gave prior. In fact, when Gwyneth discussed her marriage in interviews, it was only to explain how hard it was for her to be married. Reportedly, there were cheating rumors involved with them, and they were broadcasted as another Hollywood couple with an open marriage. Regardless, the very obvious signs that things were donezo were clearly written in the stars long before the divorce papers were signed, stamped, and finalized. At number 7, we have actor Tom Cruise and actress Katie Holmes. Now, these two were somewhat of a wreck just waiting to happen, according to just about everybody. As soon as they went public with their love back in 2005, the public was already expecting a breakup to take place between the two of them. It was said to be mainly due to their age difference, but there were also loads of smaller issues that most likely played a huge part in their romantic demise. For one, Tom was 14 years Katie's senior, and there was the biggest and probably least surprising Scientology mess. Where Katie was brought up as a Catholic, Tom was heavily devoted to the practice of Scientology, which has its own slew of bad rumors and unethical practices and brainwashing techniques attached to its name. Then there was the fact that both Tom and Katie were at two very different places in their career at the time, which inevitably doomed their relationship from the get-go. Where Tom was a megastar hitting all the biggest screens, Katie was just up and coming as an actress. Surprisingly enough, their marriage remained intact for 6 whole years, but on the opposite end, no one was quite shocked to see it go. At number 6, we have former lovebirds from the 2nd season of the reality series Love is Blind. Featured stars Danielle Rule and Nick Thompson are reportedly calling their marriage quit after a single year of being together. According to news sources that were scoped from multiple online documents, Danielle filed for divorce in Illinois on August 15th at the Cook County Circuit Court. The once seemingly happy duo met and fell in love on Netflix's dating show and went on to tie the knot in June 2021. Their season finale wedding was featured in the show, which was released in February of this year. However, they haven't publicly confirmed their split when news sources originally made the discovery and began publishing their stories. More so, Danielle is still listed as a Thompson in her Instagram bio and handle. On June 8th, the couple posted sweet tributes on Instagram to mark the celebration of their 1-year wedding anniversary, so things seemed okay at that time. In fact, Nick's post featured an image of him and Danielle at their wedding, with an explanation that although marriages broadcasted on TV are tough, he and Danielle are, quote, putting in the work to get to know each other and learn how to be partners for one another. The former spouses were the only pair of the two couples on season 2 of Love is Blind to end up tying the knot, as the opposite duo Ariana and Jarrett announced their plans to divorce just a few days after Danielle filed for her own separation paperwork, ironically enough. Many LIB fans were initially disappointed to know that these couples broke up, as season 1 couples Lauren and Cameron and Amber and Matthew are still together to this day.
Halfway number 5, Hoda Kotb and Joel Schiffman. After 8 years of being together, Hoda and Joel announced that they will be ending their engagement. Hoda made the announcement on January 31st on Today with Hoda and Jenna after some viewers wondered why she was no longer wearing an engagement ring. She revealed that over the holidays her and Joel had a lot of meaningful conversations where they realized they were better off as friends than an engaged couple. So they decided to start off the new year with a different type of relationship where they are no longer romantically involved. In at number 4, Josh Flagg and Bobby Boyd. $1 Million Listing Los Angeles star Josh Flagg announced in 2022 that he was splitting from his husband, Bobby Boyd. The pair had been married for 5 years. Flagg announced the news in an Instagram post, writing, quote, "Bobby and I are divorcing. This might sound abrupt, but I felt I should be transparent from the top rather than bury the headline. This was not a rash or impulsive decision. We have been very thoughtful before coming to this conclusion." He continued that the pair did not fall out of love, rather they felt that they were growing in different directions and could no longer be there for each other in the ways that they needed. And at number 3, Ashley and Michael Darby. The Real Housewives of Potomac star Ashley Darby has announced her divorce from her husband, Michael. Darby announced the news on Instagram where she wrote in part that, quote, "Almost 8 years ago when Michael and I said I do, we anticipated sharing every single day together from that moment forward. Unfortunately, that's not our current reality. We have decided to separate." She explained that there was no reason for the decision, but it was a mix of many things, and that people will speculate the decision was made for various reasons, adding, quote, "People will be quick to assume that the causes were too much intrusion by reality TV into the most personal parts of our lives, age gap issues, cultural problems, or child rearing differences. Pieces of all these may have affected our pure love for each other, but no one reason is the root cause of our mutual decision." A source close to the couple said they had been having serious issues for the last year, and there's been a huge disconnect between them as a couple. In at number 2, Pamela Anderson and Dan Hayhurst. Pam and Dan have sadly been only married for a year, but have already decided to end their marriage. A source described the relationship as a whirlwind romance that simply ran its course. After their wedding, the pair were not getting along and decided to take a break from each other. Another source claimed that Pam rushed into this marriage because she saw the relationship as a fresh start, but the spark was starting to fade and she was having regrets. Apparently Dan was trying to make it work between them, but Pam knew it was time to end things. Any news source said, quote, "There was no straw that broke the camel's back, but rather Dan is not the man she hoped he was." This was Pamela's 6th marriage. She's been married 5 times in the past, twice to the same man. And finally, number 1, Ali Wong and Justin Hakuda. Comedian Ali Wong recently announced that her and her husband of 8 years, Justin Hakuda, are divorcing. A source told People, quote, "It's amicable and they will continue to co-parent lovingly." The divorce news is not a shock to some fans who felt she was hinting at being unhappy in her marriage in multiple Netflix specials. The former couple met at a wedding reception in 2010 when he was a Harvard business student. They got married in 2014 and had their first daughter a year later, followed by another girl in 2017. During her 2016 Netflix stand-up special Baby Cobra, Wong joked how she trapped her husband to be with her after learning he was going to Harvard Business School. A sour spot for the couple was most likely how often Wong ripped on her marriage during her comedy. Once when speaking about her marriage, she said, quote, "Like an idiot, I asked this dude to ask me to go to prison, and I'm in monogamy jail and I don't know how to get out." She even joked in the same special that she thinks of cheating every 5 minutes, but no good opportunities have taken place.
In at number 10, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Everything about this couple was messy, from how they got together to how they split up. After a terrible and messy divorce from Jennifer Aniston, with plenty of cheating rumors flying around, Brad and Angelina basically confirmed that they were together only a month later. They then got married in 2014. The couple had a huge family with many children, growing their family to 6 kids, with 3 being their biological children. Then came their separation, where cheating rumors started swirling. Then came the divorce, which came only 2 years after they got married. One of the messiest revelations in the divorce was that Pitt may have gotten physical with their oldest child Maddox while he was drunk. But the LA Department of Children and Family Services later cleared him of all charges. Then they had many legal fights about money, where Jolie claimed that Pitt hadn't, quote, paid any meaningful child support since they split. But then it came out that Pitt had paid over $1.3 million and even loaned her $8 million at one point. In at number 9, Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes. The marriage between these two have generated rumors for years. More specifically, Tom's relationship to Scientology and how Katie fit into that world. Eyebrows were raised after the couple divorced in July of 2012, 6 years after being together. Throughout the relationship, many speculated as to how real it actually was, with rumors swirling that there was a lot of fakeness in the marriage. Then when the couple got divorced, they finalized everything in just 11 days, which I think is a celebrity record. Many think this was a testament to just how ironclad the prenup they signed was. And apparently a big part of the reason for the divorce was that the couple could not decide on how to raise their daughter Suri. Tom wanted her raised with Scientology, however Katie did not want it to be exclusively Scientology. In at number 8, Wendy Williams and Kevin Hunter. The relationship between these two have been discussed in tabloids for years, with many people exposing Kevin over the years for cheating on Wendy. The talk show host filed from divorce from the TV producer in April of 2019 after almost 22 years of marriage. This came after it was revealed that Kevin Hunter got his mistress pregnant. Wendy spoke about the divorce in an interview where she said, quote, "Kevin had a major indiscretion and he will have to deal with that for the rest of his life. An indiscretion that I will not deal with. Never thought that I would be in this position." The divorce has not only been hard on Wendy, but sadly on their son as well, Kevin Hunter Jr. In at number 7, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. You guys already know about this train wreck, but I will sum it up for those of you that don't. Depp and Heard first met in 2009 on the set of The Rum Diary, which they starred in together. They married in 2015 in a private ceremony, but Heard filed for divorce only a year later after publicly accusing Johnny Depp of harming her. In the years that followed, the two were embroiled in a multi-year court battle that exposed tons of things about the relationship. Firstly, we learned that Amber had been verbally and physically harmful to Johnny in their relationship, which raised tons of questions about the legitimacy of her accusations. Then we learned that she would do insane things to test Johnny's temper, like once where she defecated in their bed, which the maid found later. Sadly, as of now, it seems that Amber is winning all their battles in court, but hopefully the truth will come out. And at number 6, Kristen Cavallari and Jay Cutler. Cavallari and Cutler announced their plans to separate via Instagram in April 2020 after marrying in 2013. Cutler listed their date of separation as April 21st of 2020, while Cavallari stated that their relationship ended on April 7th, which made the legal proceedings even more drawn out. The split seemed like it was nasty from the start, but things got worse when Cavallari accused Cutler of, quote, inappropriate marital conduct in the divorce filing, aka cheating. Then Cutler requested joint custody of their kids while Cavallari wanted sole custody. During the messy divorce, a source said, quote, the word around Nashville is that they really just don't like each other anymore. They would accuse each other of cheating, but nothing really solid. They were both very stubborn and bump heads a lot. Neither backs down. And apparently before the split, the two were fighting often.
We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson. Since 2016, Khloe and Tristan have been dating on and off. On June 21st of 2021, the pair called it off again. Now, many people would agree that their relationship isn't the best, and that's because Tristan has cheated on Khloe a number of times. Khloe even said that she has felt betrayed by him, but still continues to go back to him. And just this year, it was revealed that Tristan is the father to a 3rd child. He was dating Khloe at the time that his son was conceived. Like, come on, Khloe, you deserve so much better. In our 4th spot, we have John Mulaney and Anna Marie Tendler. After 6 years of marriage together, the couple announced on May 10th that they have split up. John's spokesperson said, and I quote, John will not have any further comment as he continues to focus on his recovery and getting back to work. Meanwhile, Anna said, and I quote, I am heartbroken that John has decided to end our marriage. I wish him support and success as he continues his recovery. So it was John who decided to file for divorce. Later, it was revealed that the pair was going through a rough patch, while also experiencing irreconcilable differences in their marriage. Just months later, John got together with Olivia Munn. Fans were shocked at how fast he moved on. And only months into their new relationship, they announced that they were expecting their 1st child, which was shocking, not only due to the fact how fast it all happened, but also because Mulaney has also made it clear that he didn't want kids. Moving on to number 3, we have Alex Rodriguez and Jennifer Lopez. J-Lo and A-Rod first met in 1999 when Alex was still playing baseball. Then again at a Yankees game in 2005, but at the time they were both married to other people. Eventually though, things fell into place and the pair began dating in 2017. 2 years later, in 2019, they got engaged. But in March of 2021, the pair split. According to J-Lo's friend that talked about their split, she said, and I quote, J-Lo insisted on it.
There are too many issues that are unresolved. She has been pretty miserable and didn't think it was in her best interest to stay with Alex. Then, only months later, rumors swirled about J-Lo and Ben Affleck getting back together. And now it's official. They are. Hashtag Bennifer for life. In our second spot, we have Shia LaBeouf and Margaret Qualley. This pair started dating after starring in a music video together, Love Me Like You Hate Me. However, in January of 2021, the pair split after Shia got into legal troubles with his ex-girlfriend FKA Twigs. They split just weeks after his ex filed a lawsuit against him. She accused him of sexual battery, assault, and emotional distress. Shia denied all the allegations, but Margaret did not want to be with a man accused of such. And in our number one spot today, we have Kim and Kanye. Of course, they had to make it to number one on today's list because everything going on between them is wild. On January 5th, 2021, news broke that Kim and Kanye were ending their marriage, and on February 19th, 2021, Kim officially filed for divorce. The two have 4 children together, and that right now is causing a lot of drama. Apparently, Kim was keeping the kids away from Kanye. Kim wants full custody, but obviously Kanye wants joint custody. Kim says that Kanye is unstable, Kanye says that Kim's unstable. It's just really messy. And now it's even worse when you throw Pete Davidson into the mix. That's just adding more fuel to the fire. On June 10th, 2021, during the Keeping Up with the Kardashians season finale, Kim said, and I quote, "After turning 40 this year, I realized, no, I don't want a husband that lives in a completely different state. To me, I thought, oh my God, that's when we're getting along the best. But then, that is sad to me, and that's not what I want." Yikes, that's a hard thing to admit. And I feel like their situation is going to just keep getting messier before it gets better.
Number 10. Chris Pratt and Anna Faris. When Chris Pratt and Anna Faris decided to announce their split after 8 years of being married, they shocked the world as this fairy tale romance came to an abrupt end. With the couple finalizing their divorce in October of 2018, Chris hinted in social media posts that the two haven't been happy for quite some time. As he said, "Anna and I are sad to announce we are legally separating. We tried hard for a long time and we were really disappointed. Our son has 2 parents who love him very much, and for his sake, we want to keep this situation as private as possible moving forward. We still have love for each other and will always cherish our time together and continue to have the deepest respect for one another." Ending things on a mutual note, both Chris and Anna have been able to remain on good terms and they continue to be great co-parents together. And friends, before we move on to this next spot on the list, let us know which divorce in the celebrity world completely shook your brain and you still are not over it down in the comments. Number 9. Jenna Dewan and Channing Tatum. Not so friendly exes Channing Tatum and Jenna Dewan went from being Hollywood's it couple to divorced parents, and they haven't made it easy for others to determine whether or not they're on good terms with one another. The two actors began dating back in 2006 when they met on their movie set Step Up. By July of 2009, they tied the knot and began to grow their family, welcoming their first daughter in May of 2013. While the pair became a beloved celebrity couple by many, Jenna admitted in February of 2018 that the pair have struggled with their relationship like anyone else. She admitted they were not perfect and they had their fair share of disagreements. By April of 2018, the couple announced their split in a joint statement saying, "We have lovingly chosen to separate as a couple. We fell deeply in love so many years ago and have had a magical journey together." The couple then went on to say they were moving on different paths and ultimately decided it was best to be friends for the time being. Since the divorce, the exes have been co-parenting great together and there seems to be no drama between them, at least for now. Number 8. Liam Hemsworth and Miley Cyrus. Cyrus and Hemsworth both started seeing each other in 2008 when the pair met on the set of The Last Song. The pair then dated off and on before tying the knot in December of 2018, just after the wildfire destroyed their home in Malibu. In court documents obtained by E! News, Miley cited irreconcilable differences behind the reason for the actors' split. However, a month before their divorce was finalized, Miley opened up about why their relationship didn't last. According to Cyrus, the two only got married due to the trauma of losing their Malibu home in a fire. She went on to note that the two had been together since they were 16, and when their home burnt down, they felt like they had to get engaged. She added, "I just clung to what I had left of the house, which was me and him." Before ending the interview, Miley also noted that Liam and her had too much conflict, which led to the pair's split. Number 7. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Just as Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie began with a bang on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, their marriage abruptly dissolved in the same manner. The longtime couple got engaged in 2012 and then got married in 2014 at their French chateau. However, after 11 years of being together, the couple decided to split for the health of their family. Pitt then released his own statement saying he was very saddened by the matter, and the only thing that mattered now was the well-being of the couple's children. On September 19th of 2016, Jolie filed divorce papers citing irreconcilable differences and requesting sole physical custody of their 6 children. As soon as the news broke, it didn't take long for gifs and memes to flood the internet. Stars were also quick to chime in. Chrissy Teigen tweeted, "Brad and Angelina, how am I supposed to go to work today?" Adele even dedicated her NYC concert to the former couple by saying, "I need to address the elephant in the room, but it's the end of an era." Since announcing the divorce, Angelina has made some pretty serious claims against Brad Pitt, and Brad has stayed pretty quiet on the matter. As the couple first stated to keep things between their divorce private, this turned out to not be the case, as the divorce has since been smeared across the tabloids since 2016, as the two have since yet to finalize matters officially. Number 6. Megan Fox and Brian Austin Green. On November 25th, 2020, Megan Fox filed for divorce from Brian Austin Green. At the time, she claimed the two have been separated since November of 2019. After being married for 10 years, the actress ultimately decided to file for divorce, as it was a decision that was a long time coming, especially now that she was in a relationship with MGK. Kelly and Fox met on the film Midnight in the Switchgrass in 2019. In court papers, Megan asked for joint legal and physical custody of her and Green's sons. She also asked to terminate the ability for either her or Green to seek spousal support. However, even though Green agreed to the custody request, he still wanted spousal support to be a possibility. With Fox moving on and looking forward to her future with MGK, Brian has had a lot to say about the matter, even claiming that Megan has been an absent mother in her kids' lives. Hopefully these two can put their differences aside for their children's sake.
At number 5, we have Denise Richards and Charlie Sheen. Now, Denise Richards and Charlie Sheen had a bumpy marriage, and Denise decided to pull the plug on their marriage when she was only a few months pregnant with the couple's second child. In 2006, their divorce was finalized, however, the couple hadn't signed a prenup. Considering Charlie appeared on 2.5 Men, making millions during their marriage, Charlie would be responsible to pay 50% of the earnings and assets made from their marriage. However, Denise has claimed that she never saw any of the sitcom money, and Charlie has over $450,000 in unpaid child support. According to several inside sources, Charlie pays Denise $80,000 to cover the cost of their $2, and he also pays the same amount to his other ex-wife, Brooke Mueller, for their 2 children. However, Charlie's once $220 million net worth is no longer in the state it was, and most of it went towards his risk behavior rather than to his spouses and children. At number 4, we have James Cameron and Linda Hamilton. After being married for 18 months, James and Linda decided to call off their marriage, and their divorce would cost James a hefty penny. Now, Linda would come forward to say that she and James had decided to split due to James having an affair with an actor from the Titanic while James was a film producer on the set. The love triangle would ultimately dissolve James's and Linda's marriage, and in 1999 the couple's divorce would be finalized and Linda would receive $50 million in a settlement. At number 3, we have Harrison Ford and Melissa Matheson. Now, Harrison Ford and Melissa have been divorced now for 2 decades. However, their divorce still remains one of Hollywood's most expensive divorces. Now, the couple decided to part ways ultimately because they thought that the absence would make their hearts grow fonder for each other. And after being married for 21 years, Melissa would file for a divorce in 2001. Since the couple never arranged a prenup agreement when they wed, there was a 3-year-long battle before they were able to reach a settlement. In 2004, Melissa would be awarded $85 million, and she would also be able to receive part of Harrison's future earnings from Indiana Jones and The Fugitive sales. At number 2, we have Adele and Simon Kanucki. Now, Adele and Simon's divorce had to be one of the messiest and unfair divorces Hollywood has ever seen for a while. Who can forget that photo of Adele screaming at Simon in tears when he took almost all of her money? When Adele finalized her divorce from Simon, she would have to pay the CEO a settlement of $140 million out of her $190 million net worth. Of course, when this news came to light, a lot of men were stoked at the prospect of Adele having
having to hand over $100 million and said Simon deserved the large amount. However, considering women are still paid less than men in most workplace settings, the fact that Adele had to fork over 2/3 of her hard-earned fortune is insane. What Adele's divorce has taught us is that no money is ever safe in a marriage. If you're a celebrity or a billionaire and you're thinking about getting married, make sure you get that prenup ready. At number 1, we have Princess Diana and King Charles. Now, it's no lie that Diana lost a lot when her time as a royal came to an end. When the royal marriage dissolved, it's clear that even princesses don't always have their fairy tale ending. After the two announced their separation in 1992, Queen Elizabeth would strip Diana's royal titles at the behalf of Charles' insistence, and Diana would then need to curtsy to anybody in the royal family, and this included her sons. Despite losing her royal title, Diana did gain some money. Now, neither side officially disclosed details of anything Diana would get. However, a newspaper would later leak that Diana would receive $22.5 million plus another $600,000 salary a year to pay for her private office.
In at number 10, Tish and Billy Ray Cyrus. Tish and Billy Ray are getting divorced for the 3rd time, just 5 years after they called off their 2nd divorce. Tish is the person who filed for divorce on April 6th after 29 years of marriage. The couple share 5 kids together, including the legendary Miley Cyrus. In 2010, Billy Ray was first to file for divorce, but called it off after a few months. Tish then filed for her first time in 2013, but the couple reconciled just 10 days after that. So there is a chance this 3rd time might also be called off, or there's a chance the couple has unanimously decided that they should no longer be together. In documents obtained by People, Tish cited irreconcilable differences in the legal documents and revealed that her and Billy Ray have not lived together for more than 2 years. The couple released a joint statement saying in part, quote, "It is after 30 years, 5 amazing children, and a lifetime of memories, we have decided to go our separate ways. Not with sadness, but with love in our hearts. We've grown up together, raised a family we can be so proud of, and it's now time to create our own paths." In at number 9, Tom Schwartz and Katie Maloney. As a huge fan of Vanderpump Rules, this news is incredibly heartbreaking, but not all that shocking after last season. After 12 years of being together, the couple have announced that they will be divorcing. After reading the statements, it's clear that this was Katie's decision, and Tom is having a hard time coping with his new normal. In her Instagram statement, Katie wrote, quote, "After 12 years on an adventure through life together, Tom and I are ending our marriage. This ending is not met with resentment or animosity, no sides to choose. We have deep admiration for one another that will always remain, and we cherish our friendship." Tom wrote in his caption that he, quote, "fully respects Katie's decision and that it would be far sadder if she decided to stay with me while not happy." After revealing more about the reasoning, Katie has admitted that she didn't feel supported by Tom and felt that he never truly had her back. And after watching last season, it's clear to me that Schwartz has some growing up to do and needs to prioritize his wife over friends like Tom Sandoval. If you've watched Vanderpump Rules and you saw last season where they're fighting about the bar, please let me know your thoughts below. It is one of my favorite reality shows, mostly because I've just grown up watching it, and I'm so invested in their relationships, and it's so sad to see that these two are splitting up. In at number 8, Shailene Woodley and Aaron Rodgers. Shailene Woodley and Aaron Rodgers had an incredibly fast-paced relationship. Before the public even knew they were a couple, Shailene and Aaron were engaged. It seemed to everyone that the pair were soulmates and were going to be together forever, until it was announced that Shailene broke off their engagement. The former couple first met in 2020 and soon sparked romance rumors. Rodgers confirmed the relationship during his acceptance speech for the NFL Honors Award, thanking his fiancée. Woodley confirmed the relationship as well in an episode of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, showing off her engagement ring. The pair briefly got back together after ending their engagement to try and work things out, but sources say that Shailene is now 100% done. A source said, quote, "Shailene tried to give it another shot and was spending time with Aaron, but she quickly saw that everything was on his terms and nothing was going to change. There was no reason to continue and she's done with it." And at number 7, Garrett Hedlund and Emma Roberts. After an incredibly messy on and off again relationship with Evan Peters, Emma Roberts quickly moved on to Garrett Hedlund. Then, out of nowhere, the couple announced they were expecting a child together. The pair seemed very happy and excited for their child, but shortly after the birth of Rhodes in 2020, the couple has split. An insider said of their split, quote, "It's sad and they are trying their best to co-parent. It's been hard." The couple started dating in 2019, welcoming Rhodes in December of 2020. At the time of the birth, Emma posted to Instagram writing, quote, "Thank you 2020 for getting one thing right. Our bright light Rhodes Robert Hedlund." In at number 6, Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet. This power couple was one that seemed like they would stay together forever because of how highly Momoa spoke of Bonet in the press. But sadly, on January 12th, the couple announced in a joint statement that they would be ending their marriage, saying, quote, "We have all felt the squeeze and changes of these transformational times. A revolution is unfolding and our family is of no exception. A revolution is unfolding and our family is of no exception. Feeling and growing from the seismic shifts occurring. And so we share our family news that we are parting ways in marriage." After the split, Momoa was seen living in a van that was camped out on his friend's property. There were also rumors that the pair might be getting back together, but those were false. While talking about these rumors, Momoa said, quote, "Oh no, we're not back together. We're family, you know. We have 2 beautiful children together. We're family forever."
At number 5, we have the queen of pop, Britney Spears, and her ex-husband Kevin Federline. I think it's safe to say that once Britney first made the announcement that she would be walking down the aisle with her former backup dancer turned lover, the world seemingly knew they'd be a disaster waiting to crash. But people were surprised when Britney and Kevin began having children together. Still, fans were wickedly anticipating a divorce announcement from Britney and Kevin at the time. The relationship lasted a brief 2 years before Britney apparently blindsided Kevin with her filing for divorce. However, supporters of the pop star weren't nearly as disturbed by it, of course. At number 4, we have previous Keeping Up with the Kardashian love stars Kris Jenner and Caitlyn Jenner, who formerly went by Bruce Jenner back when they were married. One thing I can tell you for sure is that at the beginning, their relationship seemed picture perfect. They had the typical solid match made in heaven type of romance, apparently, but this soon changed as Kris began growing more and more successful with their family becoming just as famous. This is where Kris and the previously Bruce's relationship would experience major change. By the time the reality show hit its 4th season, it appeared Kris and Caitlyn couldn't really stand to be around each other. However, in probably the most surprising feat on today's list, both reality stars managed to make it all the way to season 8 before they finally put a wrap on their marriage. Still, this one was deemed by fans worldwide to be a marriage destined for failure for a long time coming. At number 3, we have comedian John Mulaney and his ex-wife and artist Anne-Marie Tendler. The couple shared a 6-year-long relationship and a dog prior to the end of their romantic ties. John would very frequently make jokes regarding their relationship during his comedy stand-up routines, including one in 2018 where he referred to Anne as a dynamite female dog during his Kid Gorgeous special. We'll never know if the jokes on top of the other BS became too much for Anne in the end, but the pair officially headed for Splitsville in July. Their divorce announcement followed a few short months after John was admitted into rehab for substance abuse back in December 2020. After this, he would go on to date actress Olivia Munn, where he continued to stir up relationship news drama. The most shocking thing for fans of Olivia and John was the announcement of their then soon-to-be welcome child, born in November 2021. John has headlined just about every pop culture news outlet you can think of nowadays for the way he broke things off with Anne. At number 2, we have formerly married twosome Chris Pratt and Anna Faris. These two public icons are very heavily part of Hollywood's former it couples because everybody loved them. However, even with this, it seems that there were a few fans who weren't all that surprised by their eventual separation. In 2018, their divorce was announced from the original marriage in 2009, and Anna has been vocal about feeling as if she was forced to split with Chris after 8 years of marriage, but she has since re-fallen in love with cinematographer Michael Barrett. Chris is currently married to Hollywood royalty Catherine Schwarzenegger. Still, Anna and Chris first met during a 2007 table read where they're sharing starring roles in the film Take Me Home Tonight. In the end though, Anna became angry over fans' reactions to her split with Chris and the picture-perfect family image she tried her hardest to create that crumbled right before her eyes. At number 1, we have the world's least shocking couple to divorce to date, Miss Kim Kardashian and her rapping ex-husband Kanye West. With the spiral both their relationship and Kanye himself was headed into, it wasn't a shock to Kim Ye fans when the former celebrity couple decided to part ways. It seems non-shocking ends to marriages run deep in the Kardashian family too, as of course we need to honorably mention Khloe's failed marriage with her previous partner Lamar Odom. Still, Kim and Kanye have been dubbed as today's incoming split just bound to happen, according to fans and viewers of the Keeping Up with the Kardashian reality show. Apparently their fate was set in stone as far back as them tying the knot in 2014, according to many. Reportedly, the once powerhouse duo constantly butted heads in their later years due to their rising careers and demanding schedules. Words of Kim once stated, "He should have a wife that supports his every move and travels with him and does everything, and I can't." This was back during the series finale of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where she cried during her confession. Ironically enough, Kim was also the one who filed for divorce back in February 2021. She later explained to Vogue that her reasoning for them separating was actually because she made the decision to put herself first. Quote, "Even if that created changes and caused my divorce, I think it's important to be honest with yourself about what really makes you happy." And while Kim Ye once held the title of star-crossed lovers in the beginning, Kanye is still intent on making their marriage work once more, even with Kim wanting to move on. Since then, Kanye had posted a number of direct Instagram uploads for Kim, with one stating, "God please bring our family back together," from a since deleted post. However, Kim seemed content with continuing forward, as she was soon romantically linked to and later confirmed to be dating her now ex-boyfriend Pete Davidson.
Starting off this countdown, we have Gigi Hadid and Zayn Malik. The history between these two is wild. They've been dating on and off for years. They started dating late 2015. They called it quits in March of 2018. 2 months later, they were spotted together again. In January of 2019, they announced that they broke up again. Zayn said that he had a lot of issues that Gigi just couldn't help him get through. A year later, it was announced that they were back together, and then they gave birth to their first child, Kai. A little while later, there was an incident between Zayn and Gigi's mom, Yolanda. She claims that he grabbed and shoved her into a dresser during a fight. She also claims that he yelled a number of profanities at her. She also said that Malik reportedly would yell at Gigi a number of times over the phone when he wasn't in the US. One thing he said on the phone to her was, I quote, "Strap on some effing balls and defend your partner against your effing mother in my house." Obviously, due to all this and more, Yolanda does not want Zayn in Gigi's life, let alone near Kai. So this whole thing is the definition of messy. In our 9th spot, we have Grimes and Elon Musk. After being together for 3 years, the pair called it quits in September of 2021. Apparently, this happened due to the fact that he was always traveling for his work at SpaceX and Tesla, whereas Grimes mainly works in LA. But apparently, for quite some time after their separation, Grimes and their baby were still living with Elon Musk. The two maintained that they were semi-separated but remained on good terms, which I don't think was always the case. Later, Grimes revealed that the two had gotten into an argument over their baby's name and fought days before she went into labor. Then in July, Musk tweeted out saying that pronouns suck, and Grimes did not like this at all. She replied, and I quote, "I love you, but please turn off your phone and give me a dial." She continued on saying, "I cannot support hate. Please stop this. I know this isn't your heart." She quickly deleted this reply, and Musk unfollowed her the next day. Moving on to number 8, we have Addison Rae and Bryce Hall. TikTok stars Addison Rae and Bryce Hall called it quits in March 2021. The pair began their romance in November of 2020. It wasn't long for the two to call it quits after Bryce Hall was suspected of cheating on Addison, although Bryce denied any of the claims. But this eventually led to the pair unfollowing each other on Instagram. Despite Bryce claiming that all the cheating allegations were false, he said that it drastically impacted their relationship. He said, and I quote, "I'll be honest, I broke up with her because I was completely stressed out with it all. I paid so much in lawyer fees to get all this bullshit off my plate." And even though Addison found a way to trust him again, it still put a lot of strain on their relationship. In our 7th spot, we have Tana Mongeau and Mod Sun. Seems like Tana Mongeau broke girl code after going after her ex-girlfriend's ex-boyfriend, Mod Sun. It's confusing, I know. She dated Bella Thorne, who dated Mod Sun previously, and apparently they were in like a polyamorous relationship. I don't really know. It's confusing. In 2019, Bella took to Twitter accusing Tana of breaking girl code. She never revealed what she did, but it seems like she was upset about Tana and Mod Sun dating. They kind of had a thing for a while, but stayed apart to avoid drama. Then Tana went on tour with Mod Sun just before the pandemic started. Shortly after, the two went to LA and quarantined together. Anyways, in August of 2021, in a podcast, Tana revealed why the pair broke up. And it wasn't because of the Bella drama. It was because of Tana's OnlyFans. In the podcast, she said, and I quote, "The literal, actual reason we broke up, we were doing perfectly fine as a couple, literally perfectly fine. And then I wanted to start an OnlyFans, and he wasn't. He was not down for it. That was sincerely the reason. I am not shaming him for this because I think obviously, like, let's say I were to talk to him about it in an hour, let's say we sit down, I think he would have seen what it is and what it's become, and become more accepting. But he was very much kind of, you're gonna become a star. And I was like, you've dated literal stars. So, yikes. That's all I gotta say to that one. Yikes. In our 6th spot today, we have Aaron Carter and Melanie Martin. This is another very rocky relationship. The pair started dating in January of 2020, and it's been messy ever since. A week after welcoming their first child together, Aaron announced that they had split. In a tweet, he said, "Due to personal reasons, Melanie Martin and I have decided to go our separate ways." He continued on saying, and I quote, "There has been a very big lie, and my sister communicating with my ex-fiance ruined everything, considering she knew what Angel tried to do to me in court. Thanks, Angel, you ruined my family." So apparently Melanie was in talks with his estranged twin sister, Angel Carter, and he was not too happy about that. In another tweet, he said, and I quote, "I've never felt more devastated and betrayed and lied to in my entire life. This is such a horrible situation considering Prince doesn't deserve any of this, and now it's my job to just be a single father, and that's what's gonna happen." Not only that, but Carter posted on Instagram saying that he was trapped inside of his bedroom because Melanie wouldn't let him leave his house. In fact, because of everything that was going down, Child Protective Services actually showed up at their house. And of course, Carter had to go live on Instagram when they did. But then apparently a week later, the pair were back together, so I honestly don't know anymore. Are they still together? Are they broken up again? I don't know.
Halfway at number 5, Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon. The pair started their love story in 2005 at the Teen Choice Awards where they met. 3 years later, he starred in her music video, Bye Bye, and they got together quickly after. They married in 2008 and welcomed twins together in 2011, named Monroe and Moroccan. Fans were shocked in 2014 when they announced that they were divorcing. TMZ reported that Cannon filed for divorce, leaving fans everywhere wondering what went wrong. It was revealed after that they were living separate lives for months before the news came out. Cannon later revealed in an interview with Wendy Williams, quote, "I feel like when two people are in a relationship, it should be about growth. So when you are at a point where there's no longer any growth and you're not bettering each other, I felt like it was probably best, especially for our children." There were reports that the divorce was pretty messy, but thankfully they have been cordial ever since and are co-parenting beautifully. In at number 4, Yolanda Foster and David Foster. If any of you guys watched The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, you know what a mess this relationship was. The pair tied the knot in November of 2011, and from what we saw on the show, Yolanda was a loving and caring wife who put her husband first. She was even criticized on the show for how much she did for David. However, in early 2012, she was diagnosed with Lyme disease and was not herself for many years after, with the disease taking a toll on her physical and mental capacity. In 2015, the couple divorced, and Yolanda revealed on the show how blindsided that she was by everything, with her speaking openly about how she believes her medical condition was the reason for the split. One source from David's camp said after, quote, "David and his family think Yolanda just loved the attention of being sick. They believe she's exaggerating her conditions, and they point out that she's never gotten a legit diagnosis or a second or third opinion." And at number 3, Charlie Sheen and Denise Richards. The couple first met while shooting the movie Good Advice in 2000, but they started dating later after Denise guest starred on Charlie's sitcom Spin City in 2001. They got married in June of 2002, but by 2005, they had split. Denise filed for divorce while Charlie was struggling with drug and alcohol issues, and the divorce was plastered all over the tabloids because of Charlie's reckless behavior at the time. Denise opened up about how hard the divorce was while she was a housewife on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, saying, quote, "A lot of people have an impression of me being wild and crazy, but Charlie was sober when we got married. So we were not this swinging couple that people might assume." Adding, quote, "When I got pregnant with Lola, things started to change rapidly. It was a very dark time and very toxic, and I filed for divorce when I was 6 months pregnant with her. But thankfully, the pair have a good relationship now." And at number 2, Jessica Simpson and Nick Leahy. Jessica and Nick were the it couple of the early 2000s. They got married in 2002 after 3 years of dating and showcased their short-lived marriage on a reality TV show before it quickly ended in 2006. The show was called Newlyweds, Nick and Jessica. Leahy even admitted on the show that they didn't know much about each other when they got married, and they would clash over things in the show constantly. And by the 3rd and final season, it was pretty much clear that they were going to be breaking up. Nick said about the show after, quote, "It was among the dumber ideas I think I've ever seen executed. It got to a place where it was so invasive, so it became a problem." And at number 1, Reese Witherspoon and Ryan Phillippe. These two got together and had children when they were really young. They met at Reese's 21st birthday party and they got engaged shortly after. The pair got married in 1999 and Reese got pregnant before their wedding as well. In 2002, the couple started having problems and went to couples therapy to try and fix it. But when that didn't work, they divorced in 2006. The couple admitted their age was a huge factor in the split. In 2017, Reese spoke on the split, saying, quote, "I got married when I was 23 and I had 2 kids by the time I was 27. So I don't know, sometimes it's good to know yourself. She says that she would not change things, but she now tells her daughter that 25 is when you really start to know yourself.
At number 10, we have Dr. Dre and Nicole Young. After 18 months of a legal battle back and forth, rapper and producer Dr. Dre was finally able to finalize his divorce from Nicole Young with a $100 million settlement. Under the terms of the settlement, Nicole would get $50 million immediately and another $50 million in 1 year after. However, Nicole would not be eligible for spousal support, and Nicole would also be able to leave the marriage with all of her jewelry as well as 4 vehicles, which included a Rolls-Royce, Range Rover, Escalade, and a Spider motorcycle. Nicole was required to move out of the Malibu beach home that she was currently living in, and she had to pay her own legal fees under the agreement. Dr. Dre, who is worth more than $820 million, will keep a large sum of his wealth, including his master recordings, trademarks, and interest in various partnerships and trust. He also was able to retain all of his Apple stocks, which included all of the proceeds from his sales of Beats by Dre, which Apple bought back in 2014 for $3 billion. The musician was also able to keep 6 of the vehicles and 7 of the couple's properties. Nicole initially filed for divorce in 2020, citing a that led to her PTSD, and Dre has since denied the allegations. At number 9, we have Bill Gates and Melinda Gates. After being married for 27 years, the couple split due to the fact they believed that they couldn't grow as a couple into the next phase of their lives. Now, court documents did show that the two had a private separation agreement in place, but not a prenup. Since the two shared so much of their professional life together, untangling their assets definitely became a complicated process. The couple had several properties, and Bill had a net worth of around $152 billion prior to the divorce, meaning he and Melinda could now each be only worth $76 billion. The couple also shares a handful of luxury planes and cars, and they run their namesake foundation, which is worth more than $40 billion. Now, both have agreed to continue to work together at the foundation as they continue its mission of helping people around the world lead healthy, productive lives. If you're liking this video so far, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. At number 8, we have Jeff and Mackenzie Bezos. Jeff and Mackenzie's divorce settlement is the largest divorce settlement in history to ever occur. When the divorce settlement was made official, Jeff had to hand over a 4% stake in Amazon, and he also had to transfer Amazon shares worth $38 billion into Mackenzie's name. Now, Mackenzie is an author, and she's now become the 4th richest woman and has already promised to give away at least half of her fortune. Now, despite handing over a vast sum of money, Jeff will still remain the world's richest individual with a $118 billion fortune. He has also given $2 billion of his wealth to Bezos' Day One fund to help address homelessness and improve education for children in low-income families. Jeffs also congratulated his former wife in a tweet, linking her Given Pledge letter, which encourages the world's richest people to commit to giving away at least half of their wealth to charity. At number 7, we have Paul McCartney and Heather Mills. Now, Paul McCartney's divorce to Heather Mills cost him $48.7 million. The couple would call it quits in 2006, however, their divorce wasn't complete until 2008, and once they finalized their divorce, it came to a hefty penny for Paul. When all was said and done, Paul would have to pay Heather $48.7 million, and on top of that, Heather would receive $70,000 a year for child support, which would later leave Paul to this day to say that his marriage to Heather was the biggest regret of his life. Ouch. To make matters worse, the media was constantly getting involved, and in 2007, while Heather was trying to speak at a charity campaign fundraiser, a reporter asked her if she was the woman that took Paul's money. At number 6, we have Mel Gibson and Robin Moore. In 2006, Robin decided to separate from her husband Mel after Mel was caught driving under the influence. At the time, Mel and Robin didn't have a prenup agreement, which meant she was entitled to walk away with at least half of his earnings that he made in the last 30 years they were married. With Mel's net worth being only $850 million at the time, Robin would be entitled to receive about $425 million. In addition, she would also pick up 50% of the pension benefits that Mel built up during the 31 years of marriage. During this settlement, it outlined his ex-wife would also get half of his film rights, and she was entitled to a split of his Directors Guild of America pension and half of the benefits he accumulated through their production company.
At number 5, Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. Miley and Liam's relationship was certainly complicated. They were on and off for 10 years before ending things in 2019, and even then, their divorce was messy. Miley and Liam got married in December 2018, but after 8 months of marriage, they confirmed their split and filed for divorce. What made things messy was Miley's unexpected and sudden relationship with Caitlyn Carter. Miley and Caitlyn took a trip together after their respective relationships had ended and entered into a new romantic relationship with each other. A lot of people speculated that Miley had cheated on Liam with Caitlyn and that it was the reason why she left him, but Miley denied those allegations. Liam and Caitlyn's ex Brody Jenner were seen shading their exes for moving on like this, but eventually things cooled off. Miley and Liam's divorce was finalized in January 2020, and apparently it was a very hard time for Miley, as she referred to the divorce as death because it was so big and so public. At number 4, Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. This is another one of those relationships that are just hard to map out because they're so all over the place and complicated. Much like Miley and Liam, Selena and Justin were on and off throughout the years, and so their breakup was just as messy because it spanned over a long time. It's almost as though they broke up in stages before finally calling it quits for good. Really, there is no official ending to their relationship because things were always up in the air. They would break up, and then the possibility of them getting back together was always there. Even when the two of them got into new relationships, things would always somehow come back to the two of them. Justin allegedly got into a fight with one of Selena's boyfriends because he still had feelings for her, and Selena would always be asked about Justin even if they weren't together. The time they spent in the news between relationships pretty much serves as their big messy breakup because, like I said before, it spanned for such a long time, it's like it was broken into phases like the MCU. I guess things officially ended for Angelina when Justin married Hailey Baldwin, and let's hope it stays that way because no one needs that toxic energy again. At number 3, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt doesn't seem to have much luck with his relationships because he has another messy breakup, but this time with Angelina Jolie. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, Brad and Angelina met while Brad was still married to Jennifer Aniston, and Angie sort of replaced Jen. Though there was initially some bad blood, things died down and Brangelina was born. Brad and Angie spent 10 years together, adopting a bunch of children and living a seemingly picture-perfect Hollywood life. The two got married in 2014, but just 2 years into their marriage, they got divorced. This breakup was intense and messy, and entertainment news sources were all over this story. Soon, cheating rumors started circulating, and later the matter of the children's custody fanned the flame. During their divorce proceedings, Brad's parenting came into question as allegations were made against him that questioned their kid's situation in Brad's care. Apparently, news came out about Angie's reason for ending their decade-long relationship with Brad, citing that he had gotten into a fight with their oldest child, Maddox, which prompted Angie to reevaluate their relationship. It was tumultuous and messy, but it seems as though they're both living their lives safely and separately at this time. At number 2, Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande. Ariana and Pete's relationship took people by surprise. It was short and intense, and the breakup was messy too. The two started dating in May of 2018, and by late June, they were engaged. They fell for each other so quickly, moving in together and planning their lives together as well. But things ended as quickly as they began, and by October, they were done. After getting tattoos dedicated to each other, they were quickly covered up, and soon the shade began. Shortly after the news of their breakup was broadcast, Pete poked fun at his failed relationship in a comedy set, and Ariana then moved on to subtweeting her ex for shading her. And she even included a reference to their relationship in her song Thank You Next. There was some back and forth shading and dissing each other in more jokes and music, but that all seems to be over now. Ariana is now engaged to someone else, and everyone seems to be moving on now. And finally, at number 1, Khloe and Tristan's relationship absolutely exploded in the media because of cheating and backstabbing and just so much drama. Basically, this whole ordeal revolved around Khloe, Tristan, and Kylie Jenner's BFF, Jordyn Woods. Tristan cheated on Khloe multiple times during her pregnancy, including a few times with Jordyn Woods, who had been a family friend for years. When news of Tristan's infidelity broke, the internet went nuts, and so did the Kardashian Jenner family. Khloe and Tristan ended up breaking up, and the family also broke up with Jordyn after she backstabbed the family. Kylie weighed in on this scandal, saying how heartbroken she was to find out that her best friend betrayed her like that. The breakup was also talked about on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, where Khloe's sisters, Kim and Kourtney, came to her side and seriously wanted to fight Tristan. Their relationship has been rocky ever since, as Khloe only keeps him in her life for her daughter's sake.